season, I'm gonna go ahead and reveal my Super Bowl bubble. Which teams do I think? Which teams in the league entering this season do I believe are legitimate right now, as we sit here right now, July 30th, 2024? Which teams do I believe are legitimate Super Bowl contenders? Now, how do I identify a team as a Super Bowl contender? Well, to me, it's very simple. If I see X team or Y team, whatever you call it, if I see a team, this team, at the very least, playing in their conference's championship game, I believe they're a Super Bowl contender. If this team, if I imagine this team playing in the AFC title game or the NFC title game, for example, that's who I identify as a contender. And I identified 9 teams in the league that are, in my opinion, Super Bowl contenders. Okay, I have 4 AFC teams, and I have 5 NFC teams on my list of contenders. The AFC teams are pretty easy. The Chiefs, obviously, Super Bowl champions. Again, and Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, that's easy. The Ravens, obviously, Lamar Jackson and company. I mean, although I gotta tell you, I'm a little worried now. They lost a gold opportunity to get into the Super Bowl last year, and they beat themselves last year in that title games to Kansas City. But I do think when you have Lamar Jackson healthy, of course, there's always a health risk at Lamar Jackson, and the rest of that team. But Ravens are that damn good. The Bengals, now with Joe Burrow back in the fold and healthy again, still like the roster, still got that core receiver group, of Chase and Higgins. Although Higgins is I think Higgins is still holding out. And then Buffalo. People are going to say, well, why Buffalo? Because I do think, once again, as I said earlier, the removal of Stephon Diggs, while phenomenal talent, and no one's knocking that, might be an addition by subtraction situation that Josh Allen, I think, can flourish without him. I think Josh Allen could still flourish without him at receiver, and he'll find ways to get the job done. And I think Buffalo can still find a ways in the AFC game. They're a tough team. Last year, they had the toughest schedule in the league, and they still found a way to get into the close to the AFC title game. They got to the AFC second round of the playoffs, but that game against KC was back to back and forth. They go either way. So, if Buffalo finds a way in the AFC title game, will not surprise me whatsoever. Now, on the NFC side, 5 teams I have here. The Eagles, obviously, the one. Look, last year was obviously a disappointing ending to the season. Jalen Hurts not being healthy, but they added Saquon Barkley. We'll see if the defense can get back to where they were 2 years ago. But even with that, their roster is just literate talent, and they have the best front office in football. They'll find ways to stay relevant. And I think hopefully for their sake anyway, the situation with AJ Brown, and now they extended him this summer or this offseason rather, because he was a little bit disgruntled toward the end of the year. Hopefully that's all cleared up for them, for their sake. They locked in their core, for the future. The Niners, of course, too, the arguably best roster in all of football. Can Brock Purdy continue to do the things he's been doing? As a guy, we call him Mr. Irrelevant, of course. Can he continue doing the things he's been doing? That's a question. Obviously, you have to see, but the roster is just literal talent, up and down. At the very least, any title game is at least I expected for them in a weak conference too. Also, Detroit Lions. Now, I'm a little skeptical with the Lions a little bit too, also because again, it's Detroit Lions. Like we saw that story last year. Now they're gonna become the hunted. Now they won the division last year. They were literally a quarter away from winning the NFC as a whole. Can they sustain that? Jared Goff got his money, of course. Can Jared Goff continue to play the way he's been playing the last couple of years in Detroit? Odds are they probably will. But the next team here on my list, the 4th team in the NFC team on my list, the Packers are on the heels now, and with Jordan Love locking up his contract now, locking up his new deal. Green Bay is a team that seems to be ascending right now, also too. They should be healthy. So, and I think that race, as stated on the last pod I did on Soul Pod last week, that race between Green Bay and Detroit for the NFC North title, because I don't think Minnesota's a chance. Neither does Chicago a chance to win the division. Two team race here between Green Bay and Detroit. It's gonna be easily the best race of the league this year. And and that could weigh a lot on who at the very least gets to the title game in the conference. The last team here on my list, I'm going to say it because of the talent they have, but this is like an all-in year for them at this point. The Cowboys. And again, weak conference. They are very talented. They're extremely talented. And because of that, their ceiling is pretty high. The floor is not low because the roster intact, healthy, is a playoff team. They are guaranteed to win, in my opinion, between 10 and 12 games every year. Maybe 13 if they get lucky. Okay? They are a 10 to 12 win team, which in the NFC guarantees a playoff spot. So take away all the stuff, all the noise about the the Cowboys and America's team and this and that. They are a very good football team. Their issues, they can't win in the postseason. But, sometimes all it takes is one break or two. It took away last year's loss to Green Bay. They were a drive away from being San Francisco to go to the title game. And same thing the year before that. So it's not far-fetched to say if the Cowboys play an NFC title game for the first time since 1995, which I can't believe it's been that long, honestly. Kind of pathetic for a team like of the stature of the Cowboys, actually, to be honest with you. I can't believe it's been that long, but it's not far-fetched to say the Cowboys could play an NFC title game if they play cards right. But it does feel like, though, with everything around Dak and his contract situation, Mike McCarthy, could he be on the go going forward? Hot seat, probably the hottest seat in the league this year. It's not far-fetched to think that the Cowboys could make it to the title game this year. So I will still put them as a contender because if they're there, I'm not shocked. But all that talent they have there, I'm not shocked at all. So those are my 9 teams I have that are currently in my Super Bowl bubble. The Chiefs, Ravens, Bengals, Bills, Eagles, Niners, Packers, Lions, and Cowboys are my 9 teams I have currently on my Super Bowl bubble for the 2024 NFL season.